Welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about developing good study habits. There are a couple things that have helped me develop really strong study habits and really optimize my study times. I graduated summa cum laude and I, did a lot, but I feel like I really ran myself to the ground because I wasn't aware of these tips that I'm going to be sharing with you. But now that I apply it, I get a lot more done with a lot less time, which means I have more free time to do fun things like make YouTube channels and sing and dance and go to the gym and just eat properly. There was a season where I literally, for dinner every night, I would have coffee and popcorn for no other reason but because I thought cooking or getting food would take too long and I needed to study. So I was an undergrad when I was in that mindset. Now I'm starting my doctorate and I spend less time doing work. It helps. It really does help. So number one, the first thing that I would say is the most important thing for you to know is to know when your optimal learning times are. And that it's not a general end all be all oh, I'll only study between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. That's it. But knowing even what kind of things you need to get done. So I realize if I need to do readings, I'll be able to focus a lot easier and get my readings done a lot faster if I'm doing it either first thing in the morning or right before I go to bed. That's just how I am. So now I schedule my reading times for those moments. I realize between 1 and 4 p.m. it is very hard for me to sit down and concentrate on anything. So if I have to study material, if I have to read, if I have to do research, 12 to 4 p.m. is not the best time for me. And while I can still do it, it takes me a lot longer to get things done. So instead, I give myself task-oriented things. So for statistics, for example, I watch a lot of videos and I take a lot of notes. So I'm very active and engaging. I can get that done during those times. Or if I'm doing research in a way where I'm trying to figure out some logistics, so my recruitment methods or the type of tasks that I want to be using in my project, I can do that during those times. So task oriented for me is midday, reading, concentration, that stuff, first thing in the morning or the end of the night. So I would encourage you guys, figure out what your optimal times of learning are and what kind of tasks you should be doing during those times. And you'll see you'll get a lot more done in a lot less time because you have now oriented your schedule around that. Now, I understand not everybody has the flexibility to be able to make these kind of adjustments like that. It does take trial and error. It took me probably a month or two to really solidify my goals and be okay with it, because sometimes it felt like I should be able to do this, but instead of trying to force myself to do something that is very difficult, I don't know. To me, there are times when you need to push and there are times when you should just be able to go with the natural flow of things, and that just helps me a ton. Number two, create limits for yourself. So instead of saying I have until next week to get this assignment done, say I have 2 hours to work on this assignment, and then that's it. When you allow it to be kind of just this long-ended assignment, or there's no real due date in mind, or you feel like the due date is far, then when you sit down to do it, you're not really focused and you're not as driven to get it done. And I realize I waste time. I'll be more tempted to wander, to go on my phone, all these things when I feel like I have a lot of time to get a task done. So right now, my advisor actually challenged me to break my life up into 90-minute blocks, break my study times up into 90-minute blocks, and give myself certain things that I need to get done before those 90 minutes. If I'm done before those 90 minutes, then I get extra break time. If I'm not, well, I get to look and be like, why didn't I get this done in the 90 minutes? Was I distracted? Maybe this isn't my optimal learning time for this task. Or maybe I underestimated the amount of cognitive resources I would need to get this task done, or the amount of time it would take for me to get this task done. So I've personally loved doing the 90-minute method. Sometimes I do 60 minutes depending on what kind of tasks it is, but it helps me to get things done a lot faster. For example, for classes, I used to take almost 2 days to read all of the assignments that they gave me. Now I take maybe 4 hours to do all of my class readings. it helps. Number 4, be aware of mind wandering. So this kind of ties into the idea of, finding your optimal learning times, and in creating limits for yourself. Mind wandering, very simply put, is when our mind decides to think about things that are not task related. Daydreaming can be a type of mind wandering. I realized for me, I'm a daydreamer, so I had to train myself to be able to focus on my task, and it wasn't necessarily easy at first, but now it's getting better. It's getting a lot easier. That is a cognitive function called cognitive control. It is something that is trainable, so don't be discouraged if you realize, oh, I'm drifting a lot. Having your phone in a place that you can see it, usually, for me at least, encourages mind wandering. So I put my phone on do not disturb, and I put it out of sight, because even if it's on do not disturb and I have it there, I realize I got into the habit of clicking and checking, oh, maybe something, so I need to put it somewhere where I can't see it. And when I realize I am mind wandering, if I'm daydreaming and whatever, I get myself to just focus. If you put on AirPods and you put on the noise canceling, that's kind of how it feels, that feeling of I need to focus, because I'm only going to be here for 60 minutes, 90 minutes. I can focus for that amount of time. Another thing to be aware of is multitasking. I really had to train myself not to multitask, because in my mind I was like, if I can get 2 things done at once, then I'm winning. But really it took a lot more time, because now I'm switching between tasks, and to me it was a result of my mind wandering. So it's oh, I feel like reading right now, but then a couple minutes later, a few minutes later, I'm like, oh, but actually I want to do this instead. So just training yourself to be focused and intentional on working on your specific task, whether it be studying, memorization, reading, whatever it is, but being intentional and focusing on those things, so not multitasking. Even if you're listening to music, try to make sure that it doesn't have any lyrics behind it, because while you think you're not paying attention, your mind is just really quickly going between 2 tasks. Multitasking is fake unless the secondary task is something that is automatic for you, and processing your subconscious. Number 5, take breaks and be flexible. So I realized that I started to put a lot of pressure on myself, I need to get this done and this done and this done and this done, and I underestimated a lot of times how long it would actually take for me to do a task. So if I realize, wow, I underestimated this, it's taking longer than I expected, instead of going onto a fritzy and now oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, and I need to blah, 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 and I can't hang out with people and I cannot talk to them. I just had to adjust in my mind, okay, what can I switch around in my schedule so that I can fit this in? Or sometimes it's okay, is this good enough? So breaking the patterns of perfectionism. Am I accomplishing the task? What do I really need out of this? Thinking about what your goals are in life, what your goals are in learning, and how does this fit into that? Now, when you're taking breaks, there are 2 types of breaks that we see within the literature. One is a break from intentional learning. So that's usually when someone will go and take a nap, or maybe go on your phone or something of that nature. And then there's another one called task switching. So it's I said I'm gonna study for 60 minutes this specific thing. After for my break for these 15 minutes, I'm going to get this thing done instead, and then I'm going to go back to that task. So a break in a task switching type of mode. There's debate as to which one is most effective. Personally, going back to the being flexible thing, it depends on how I am feeling. So if after those 90 minutes I feel pumped still, I still have these cognitive resources and I'm ready to go, then yeah, I will do another task that may take less of a cognitive effort, have less of a cognitive load for me, and get that done. So if it's planning something or organizing my schedule, things of that nature, so I'm checking something off of my task, my to-do list, but it's not necessarily learning, so I am giving myself a break. But sometimes you feel all the headaches and you're hungry and you're tired by the end of those 90 or 60 minutes. So then I would take like an intentional break. So just know yourself, know your body, whatever works for you. The goal is for you to feel like you've gotten a sense of accomplishment, but also not to run you to the ground, because then we're less effective. So those were the things that helped me. Obviously, there are a lot more there's a lot of other things that can help you optimize your learning time and do well and study hard. These are the things that I found to be really effective. If you like this, I could probably do a part 2 of this video. But let me know if it works for you. Let me know if you try any of these tips. Put it in the comments. Let me know your experiences. I want to hear from you guys. This is supposed to be us doing life together, so I really, really value what you have to say. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share this video, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye! Close. Oh my gosh. Oh my god.